Ford Model T pickup. And it was originally a three-door Tourer, which was converted to a pickup in America. And it came over to this country in 1998. Ford Model T became a very, very popular vehicle. These are going on.
Another heavy haulage diamond. It's a very heavy frame with all the pieces on it. It is one of their sole selection from Porsche. It's the 1990 Baron of the locomotive. A very heavy haulage engine, originally one of a series designed during the First World War for the War Department, and sort of quite a few depots at the end of the war because they stopped having a war, and they went into general servitude. This one had a mixed use in heavy haulage, and also spent some time as a fairground engine with all the extra decorative bits and pieces on it, and it's been with the present owners now for nearly 20 years, and it's actually now
we eventually gave up and went back onto the rally field and went to bed for the night, and they were still struggling trying to get these wheels out of the ditch because they're not light, they're definitely not light.
We've got another Scammer arriving.
Company were not one of the most prolific builders of large vehicles, but here's one of their examples, 1962 FHK, as again as a breakdown truck. It's got a very rare Austin underfloor engine and it's been used as a recovery vehicle from the 1970s. Steve Gregory, the owner of this one, up from Foxy in Hampshire. Very, very nicely restored vehicle.
Another one of those strange things.
This one won't have a tilt cab either.
Still, this is Spar Shop with a soldier one. Now, the Dennis Company have always been renowned for their fire engines. I must admit, when this design of engine, fire engine came out, must be 20 years ago now, right? Exactly. It was an absolute revolution. I had to go around the factory and see it. There was the brake system behind it. Any time they were making this kit. They have served very well, but of course even the fire engine has a life, and now they're beginning to pass out of service.
I made it in 1998 and spent all its working life down at Dorset Fire and Rescue Service, and it served as Stirling's Newton on the second pump. When it left service, it only had 12,000 miles on the clock. Nothing for a vehicle like that.
When you think of what that vehicle cost to buy, and what it could do, it was wasted, wasn't it? Yes. Well, for a
Land Rovers.
yes. And now we have a Scania 110 when the Continental approached us.
Yes, this is 1973 and supplied new to a haulier down in Bristol that year, and spent most of its working life on general haulage, and is now part of the McGovern fleet, the preserve fleet. It's undergone a full restoration, and this is its first time to come down here to Brighton on the run.
And looking really good as well. F14 is another Scamel, going back a little bit now, with what was known as the Michelotti designed cab. It's actually a fiberglass cab, and a lot of that, what appears to be decorative ribs all around it, is actually the string pin that holds the whole thing together. The British Leyland Group, which included Scamel, used them on both their Leylands and Scamel models, and an extremely successful vehicle. Probably a Leyland 600 engine underneath there. This one is just a tractor unit, and it's got a step trailer carrying the restored early JCB, and they're a thing now that people are actually going for and seeking to find, particularly if it's firms that are in the plant business.
That is very, very nicely restored, that JCB. That is beautiful. And the cab on the lorry, in actual fact, is fiberglass, and that was the actual start of the fiberglass bodies, really. I think Scamel were one of the first people to start using it. All around the steamers, all around the motors.
Yes, this one, entry in R9, 1932 type. Came towards the end of the production of these vehicles. They did build some rather more advanced steam lorries, but this is the traditional locomotive style boiler, and this one was fitted out for timber work. So on the back there, there will be a winch which can be driven by the stick. And the notice of the solid tyres as well, which probably along the road very nice train design. Again, the right style for a vehicle of this sort. Owned by Simon Webb, known as the Mighty Atom. Very early navigation back in the late 1950s down. It was very well known. It came to life with several owners during the 60s.
There was a 1946 Bedford O-type tractor unit and trailer. Nice news of Continental textiles, you can see on it there. And it stayed there until 1953, when it went to a garage owner up in that area. And they actually fitted a breakdown body with a crane on it, but nice to see it's actually been restored back to the tractor unit that it originally was. Now we've got H3, which is one of our fire appliances, and this one spent it's a favourite, spent all its working life with up in Scotland, with the Aberdeen City Fire Brigade. It's a enclosed type body for carrying the crew on it, and there you can see the ladder up on the top. one's got a 150 Gardner engine. It started life as an articulated unit for hunts and workshop, that was here, and then changed to a balance tractor. And like a lot of these vehicles, they were used on the fairground for heavy, hauling the heavy fairground loads around.
One of the more recent ones that's only recently come out is around 1998 HCVS. One of the popular vehicles in this enterprise economic sense. And they, of course, would have done a lot of longer distance haulage work with trailers, and ERF as a name has now disappeared. They linked up with MAN on the continent. Basically, the later ERS were abandoned to MAN.
Now another vehicle in the Penson fleet, another AC Matador timber tractor of 1941, and this one was driven for its entire commercial working life.
It has spent literally thousands of hours getting this back very accurately to its proper original form, and he finally got it onto the road about 18 months ago, and the target of course was to do a Brighton with it, and he's done it.
Brilliant. Kings apparently never threw anything away. When they finished using it, they just parked it up in the yard and that was it. When eventually they had to sail, engines like that, you couldn't get at them because they put buildings up in front. And a lot of those bits that remained had to be craned out over the hedge onto a low loader after you bought it at the auction.
That's one of them. Now,
that is one of them, yeah.
And the double deck bus that's followed in is a very familiar vehicle to this town, because it was actually used by the Brighton Corporation Transport Department from 1939 through to about 1963. They had a lot of trolley buses with a similar design bodywork in this town, which unfortunately have all disappeared. But bus 63, one of the motor buses that they used on the less used routes, did fortunately pass into preservation, and this one actually served on the Route 52. I remember them well, living in this town and actually riding on those vehicles. It's grand to see up I remember it well on some of the earliest Brighton runs in the 1960s, when Shackle riders both preserved it carefully.
Leyland's, of course, always been very well known for building really superb vehicles. This one has come up from Bideford down in Devon. It's started its life as a demonstrator for the Leyland. It was a Leyland Octopus, and it was then supplied to Marley's, probably Marley's the tile people, and it made a purchase from Frank Tibbers and Sons potato and coal haulage. Came out of the scrapyard in 1970, now beautifully preserved.
The open block is the Leyland from area. Very popular thing now is that they called vehicles and make those block buses for particular seat collectors. Like having a big offer or in front on your own top-up. These Leylands worked well into the 1960s, and that's another vehicle I manufactured never in service.
Martin Cross has gone through with his 1983 Bedford TL, and this one has got the body on the back of it. It's much earlier than the vehicle. The vehicle was 83, but the body on the back of it is a livestock container. That dates from 1961. That came from a farm down in Somerset, restored back onto the vehicle in memory of the current owner's father, who started his business in the early 50s doing this sort of work. think of, or I certainly don't think of, actually being eligible for this, but of course it's the Ford Cargo, 1989, this one dates from. And the Ford Cargo it came after we've had the D-Series through, and the Cargo was their next model on. This is Michael Turner from Upfield, and very, very nicely restored vehicle. This one dating from 1916 and owned by Tom Collard from Liston, Hampshire, and it was actually purchased by the owner's father from Moors of Brighton in 1916, and it worked on the family farm until the Second World War. When the driver went off to war, the vehicle was put to one side and not used again until it was brought into preservation.
Another tractor unit, this time of Open S20, brought along by Tony Knowles from March in Cambridgeshire, another person whose name is very well known on the Brighton run and on its trophies. This is a 6x4 tractor unit with the Pope engine, two-stroke engine, which again is a very distinctive thing when you hear it working hard, and a completely auto unit, this one. Beautifully restored, as Tony's vehicles always are.
Now one of the famous London buses, the AEC Route Master of 1968. This is entered by the London Bus Museum, and it was the last Route Master to be built and continued in daily use until it was replaced on loan by, or put on loan to Stagecoach to the London Bus Museum in 2013. It's been fully renovated inside and out, and you can see it at the museum. Whereas our museum now, of course, is at Brooklands as well. So this vehicle is one of the most well-known vehicles to travel around London.
B4 is the Bedford short wheelbase CA model with a Roman caravan conversion. One of the earlier of the caravan conversions on these smaller vans. The Bedford CA was an extremely popular vehicle. Literally thousands of them on the road. Almost anybody who had a van had an engine at some stage. And the doors probably fell off with the rust as well, like the one I had. This one is Goodrich handwork business thing. Probably survived with a mileage of 29,000 because it was built up as a camper van.
That's followed by the 1965 AEC Reliance coach, and it's got a 41-seat Harrington Grandier coachwork on it. And it's one of the rarer, shorter 31-foot models. It's got an AEC 470 engine and a 6-speed constant mesh transmission. Delivered to Hutchins, a company called Hutchins and Cornelius down in South Petherton, and very, very nicely restored, now owned by Falcon Buses, coaches up at Brighton.
And now one of the very interesting and rare municipal vehicles. This is a Laker L road sweeper dating from 1920, entered by Des Maybury from Barclay. The Laker company started live marketed LB and lorries in London, hence their office was in Longacre and they called it Laker. They then went into actually constructing specialised vehicles. Road sweepers were one of their specialities for many, many years. These rather uniquely designed three-wheelers were very popular. And this one actually was brought back by the Laker company. This was in 1950, it was restored in fact, I think it was a bit later than that. I remember it coming for the first time on a London Brighton run, probably in the late 70s. It's nice to see it back on the road, and I hope to get that one up to scratch like it was when Lakers were operating. Unfortunately, had a bit of an unfortunate intermediate life.
We've got a group of fire appliances, H6, the one coming at the moment. It's it's an ex-Surrey Fire Brigade, and Dennis, built in 1951. It's one of 10 pump escapes that was supplied new to Surrey Fire Brigade, and the station that served it to the fire station. You think of Surbiton as being in Surrey, you think of it being in London now, but in those days it was. It's a very busy station, and this pump escape attended many fires, including embankment fires, chimneys and house fires. And now rebuilt with its Rolls-Royce, still got its Rolls-Royce P80 engine fitted to it. Following that is another appliance again, which is Surrey Fire Brigade, and this is owned by Alan Greenwood, and this is a 1958 Austin FE, and it's a foam salvage tender. This was new to Surrey and stationed at Epsom Station, and it was used mainly for flooding and protection properties. It would carry heavy pumps and that on board, and it even attended a plane crash in Hawley during its working life. And of course, being foam, that's the sort of price you would use for aircraft fires. Nobody trying to put it about with water, you have to smother the whole thing with foam, and this would carry the containers of the concentrate for the foam, and it would be mixed with the water to put out the fire. Now, this is another one again, an ex-Surrey. This is 97 SPK, and this one gave a Surrey, which was one of a batch of 20 F24s overseas. Very, very fast machine, these. Everybody that's ever owned one said they are one of the best vehicles that Dennis has ever built. The only surviving example of what's been in preservation since the 1980s. Again, it's another one of these that's been in films, and one owned by Alan Greenwood. Very, very nice typical one. Of course, Dennis's, absolutely well known fire appliance building. Sadly, all gone completely now in Guildford. On a personal note, 97 SPK, I can still see that now, sat in Stoke Road, Guildford, outside a house, and it was sort of like, it was parked in the car park of the house, but it was really just off the edge of the pavement, or on the pavement. It sat there for many, many years, looking very, very tired. Red paint, of course, is one of the worst for fading, and this one, absolutely splendid.
We've got that taxi good across the morning because the taxi group this year was one of the more impressive vehicles. One example. I mentioned earlier the use of highly controlled possibly it's one of only two of its type still to be on the road.
Now, ERF, first ERF we've had. 1979, ERF stands for Edwin R. Foden. We were part of the Foden family, and this one started its working life down in Plymouth, and then went down to a company in Livestock, and then later on to Hughes, before it was brought back, restored in the colours of Beresford, a company which the present owners had a huge interest in since 1982. And the Mercedes, and its left-hand drive as well. It's a New Haven, a tractor unit, Mercedes-Benz of course, a German manufacturer, and they produce some very, very nice lorries. This one obviously was really kept, the Continental used to be in left-hand drive. L6, their AC coach.
Yeah, back home as well. Harringtons, who built the bodywork, operated in home, and this is one of their later projects, 1964. It has come up in Cornwall with not much involvement, and all his working time down in the West Country. It still retains most of its original paintwork, which is quite remarkable on some of the shots there, especially the paintings. The HC Reliance chassis, probably the best coach chassis available in the early 1960s. Very popular along with landing for tourist work, so that's not what they pay. Apparently there's a Continental tour as well. Very nice to see it. I've always liked Foxy. I love quality.
Having joined us all the way from Stockport up in Cheshire, this Mini, 1978 Lane Mini pickup. And this was actually spotted by the present owner's 15-year-old son sitting on a driveway with a for sale notice on it. And he must have worked his magic and persuaded his dad to buy the thing. And they purchased it. They had no idea it would take 20 years before it was back on the road, at which time it had undergone a full restoration. And how nice it looked. It's been on a few trips, and one of its first trips out was to go right over to the Antrim coast in Northern Ireland. B14, another of the Bedford HA post office telephone vans, fully restored post office telephone van, complete with internal bracket with a ladder and everything, starting wheels from Heathfield.
Well, my old van is the old Forest Drag 4. They were vans for customer ones in those days, but I'm certainly on it. They were original Forest. That one is well free. They had one of these, maybe two of them are by the
G11 is a 1996 Scania, 64 tractor unit, purchased brand new by McGovern's. We've seen some of their vehicles before, and had it from brand new in 1996, and spent its life hauling waste out of various contractors in London. Retired in 2011 and restored in-house, and again this is another one spent its first time here down at Brighton.
And starting here again, and the LB 110 tractor unit from 1974. Starting a life had. You know, they had them and anyway, Danny Lynn from London has got this one, which was Scotch Whisky Company, Tennessee Company in Scotland, from New, and this is a major restoration in the early part of the century, and we were talking about Tony Kennedy, who's makes a nice job of finishing that old
Now a little Reliant, 1953 Reliant Reason 600 weight van, little three-wheel van, looks a bit like a motorcycle when you look at the front wheel stuck out there with the springing arrangement. This was first registered with the London County Council. It passed through 6 different owners until it was acquired by Kathleen Broken from Headquarter Kent. Now brings it on today.
absolutely terrifying to drive. I never right. Right, around the drainage service.
Well, the only thing they could carry was a set of drain rods, I think. They wouldn't go from much else.
Now we have a lot of the A35s and the pickups with a very common version. They try to get the things. Harry Douglas, Patrick Barker, this one. He bought it about 10 years ago, and one of 497 little nights. So, not surprisingly, it was a very poor condition. And it's now in factory specification and in Austin services delivery.
Now 1965 Leyland Octopus tanker, and it's nice to see one actually still kept as a tanker, because you can't really use them much to take to a rally. You've got nowhere to sleep in it. You've got to take something else with you for sleeping accommodation. So a lot of them get cut off on a flatbed, put on the back, and they can sleep somewhere on the back, or a box body. So this one was supplied new to Shell, based up in the Leeds area, and around 1970 it was sold off, but the National Bus Company at their Bristol depot had it as a fuel bowser. Came into preservation and restored by the present owner in 2010.
Both going now with an FG 615 8-wheeler. Now this is a proper lorry. Keith Quinn from Armorsworth has done the restoration work on this one. These are the things that you used to be trucking up the main roads in the 50s and 60s with a great big sheeted load on the back. A really fine sight. They probably didn't go all that fast, but God, they did the work. That one was actually serving with Eastwood Brickworks. later went to a showman. The showman was very much like his boat, in their equipment. It's Lord Bullington, owner of 2000 everywhere. Need a big logo on that one.
You would. That's followed by a 1967 Ford Anglia van. It's only covered 40,000 miles in its whole life, and it is completely in original condition. One's Gordon Samuel from Colgate. I actually passed my driving test in one of these little Ford Anglia vans.
It's a voice time for one another, equipped with a breakdown lorry. The voice commercial in the 20s brought out the Model T, the commercial chassis, and it was an immediate success for all types of small trucks and vans. It was not unusual for one to get converted to a breakdown lorry later in his life. There's a considerable number of them that survived actually. And this one was found locked up in a garage. Apparently it was
an SC builders, but it only supplied chassis and the scuff engine to be serviced on.
These lorries, this one's in Water Department, they're very
Check that out, won't we? Yeah, it's not.
Nice.
Because someone's going to lose my ball.
I'm hoping my speech is
the New Haven band send up in the basement.
Leave her alone. Let her sleep.
That's just an old, that's just a van, I think. A lorry.
100! Daddy, that one's 100.
Wow. Ta-da!
Give me the seafront anywhere.
Well, let's look at this one. This one's got a really big boil.
Thank you. I would agree. That's all
What for the barrel then? Is it?